What's going on, AJ?
What up, man? Hey,
What?
Survivor Man VR is the Descent is coming February 15th.
Mm-hmm.
We're still. Oh, are we not getting to the news yet? Sorry, I'm a little out of practice. It's been 3 years.
we can do this however you want to. I've been wanting to get these shows to be a little bit shorter, but so if you want to start the news before we even start the show, I think that'll probably help quite a bit.
You know what would help me, Brian, is if somebody wrote a song about Without Parole.
Yeah,
and that I could just rock out to, and it was a mix between punk rock and metal.
Wait, you mean like an Austrian metal band called Panda?
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. Play the clip.
Yeah, here's the clip. This is from Panda.
Everybody's been waiting to come around. Join the revolution. Check this out. If you're looking for the latest news, or you really wanna hear some honest reviews, Brian got you covered with GAMESCAST on.
All right, we can't play any more than that. We'll get demonetized. So yeah, no, this is what I woke up to this morning, AJ. Somebody wrote to me from the band Panda, this Austrian metal band, and they were like, name. Yeah, I think so. It's Pannda. The extra N is for Nicaragua. No, it's not. I don't know what the extra N's for. But yeah, they were like they wrote a fucking Without Parole tribute song. I was like, that's fucking crazy. If you want to hear the whole song, I'll post it up on Discord after the show. So make sure you click the link in the description below. Come join us over on Discord. AJ, you want to start the show?
Let's do this. But first, it's time for a quick ad break from our sponsors.
Fuck ad breaks. Let's go.
Okay.
This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live, 6 p.m. Eastern, in video format for your viewing pleasure. Tornado's tearing that shit up behind me. It scared me.
Get it, tornado.
And hopefully you could hear her clawing at her post if you're one of our orally satisfied listeners, because we upload this on podcast services of your choice. Can you hear that clawing in the background? Oh my god, it's so loud.
Just a little bit, but it probably means it's way louder on your end.
It's insanely loud. My name is Brian Pop, and this gentleman right here, PSVR Without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my right, your right, it's AJ from the Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. We back, baby. We back. Well, Brian's back. I've kind of been doing stuff since then, but Brian's back. Woo!
Yeah.
Did you have a good break?
It's all right. I slept a lot.
I mean, that sounds like a good break to me.
Yeah, like you know how some people like sleep for 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. I slept for about 21 hours a day. I metamorphosized into my full cat self.
Yeah, so you went into hibernation.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like sleeping with nothing to do and being like, I'm going to wake up now. Oh, I still have nothing to do. I'm going to roll over and go back to bed. It's one of the greatest things on the face of the planet. It's amazing.
No, I totally agree. I took a break recently myself, and I came back and feel like completely recharged, and it's nice to get away from, everything and then just come back fresh, and it's awesome, man. Congrats.
Why, thank you very much. Although I've completely forgotten how to do this, so That's a thing.
Well, you never really knew in the first place, so it's like nothing's changed.
Clearly. Darth Vader, the Game Cat, with a $10 tip says state of play, cannot wait. It's been so long since Sony talked. Rumor is Judas is going to show its face there. Coincidence? I think not. PSVR2, please.
Please.
What do you think? What do you think the coincidence is? What the fuck is Vader talking about? What kind of coincidence? I mean, I think it's about fucking time we see Judas. I don't think there's any coincidences or ironicies or anything else.
PSVR 2 without Parole does not comment on rumors and speculation.
Sure we do. We actually create the rumors and speculation. We comment on all of it. Andrew Bailey with 2 quid says, welcome back, guys, and stuff.
There he is.
Yep.
There he is. I missed you and stuff.
And stuff. AJ, we have so much shit to talk about today.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know where to start, man. I will say that I missed our birthday. Without Parole turned 9 years old last week. So while I was MIA, we turned 9. You go back and watch our first videos on the channel. Well, I mean, it feels like the channel's 9. That shit feels really old. But it's cool, man. I'm kind of happy to kind of go back and see some of those original videos, like the original Gaming Without Paroles with me and Mike Zeller, just shooting the shit about everything. VR wasn't even on our minds, and it was fun, man. It's fun to kind of take a look back and see where it all started.
Excellent. I celebrated something recently too.
Birth of your first child?
No, we don't talk about that.
Birth of second child? Because we don't talk about
Yes,
child number 1.
That one.
Yeah. What did you celebrate, AJ?
It was the 100th episode of Viewer's Choice, man, where you get to choose what I play. Not you, Brian, but you, the audience. And I did a little retro throwback, and I did 4 PSVR games, got to revisit some of those, and let me tell you, man, we were right. PSVR 1 is and always will be awesome.
Nice. Did you play some Rush of Blood?
No, I played Wipeout Omega Collection, which looks like a PSVR 2 game.
Yeah,
still
beautiful.
Astrobot, which also looks like a PSVR 2 game. And then, of course, some Dread Halls. Still got it, though. Dread Halls didn't get me this time. And then something else. I forgot what the others were.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It was a lot of fun, though, man.
Yeah.
Milestones for everybody. Woo!
Not sure Brondo with the level 3 membership. It says Monday's 20 questions are the best. Yeah, well, it's AJ's turn to pick, so get ready for that shit. Prep yourself.
Yeah.
He's already AJing the fuck out of this shit. We haven't even started yet. Roy Martini.
Shaken, not stirred.
I was just about to ask you how you like your martinis. I like my martinis have to be non-alcoholic these days. But back in the day, man, I hated martinis for the longest time because I don't like cocktail olives. Like, I think olives are fucking disgusting. And so I was like, get that shit out of my vodka. Vodka is my favorite thing on the face of the planet. Olives are my least favorite thing on the face of the planet. I was like, why would you combine these two things? You're ruining one of them. And then I discovered Gibson's, which are cocktail onions, which are fucking fantastic. So Gibson's are amazing.
Sounds fucking disgusting.
So Roy Gibson with a $20 tip says, welcome back, bud. Monday has never been so sweet. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you so much.
You're a bunch of sweethearts.
Living Legend with the Canadian $5 tip says, happy Monday, Game Cats. Here's hoping this year we at least get one Astrobot PSVR 2 game, whether an Astro's Playroom VR support or Rescue Mission remaster or whatever, apparently.
Oh, we'll get to that, my friend. We will get to that very soon.
Oh yeah, is this in your state of play predictions? Because already I think you're.
We will get to that very soon,
right.
Brian. We will get to that very soon.
Thundercat, Game Cat, don't tell my dogs. Wow, the 2 quid says, happy birthday. You're aging well. Thank you. Let's just not talk about it. Andrew Bailey with the 2 quid says, always here, AJ. If I'm not tipping, I'm working and stuff.
Nice.
I added the end
well,
stuff.
I've mentioned. I was looking for you one time. I just kept calling out. I was like, Andrew, where is he? Nothing.
Nidogger, the easy to please game cat. Those are my favorite game cats. With €2. If you're tough to please, like I'm probably not going to please you. It says what? Austria or Australia? Greetings from Austria. I'm pretty sure it's Austria. I think Panda's from Austria. I can look it up though.
That's hardcore. I love that.
Let me find out here. I've got my Tyrol, Tyrol, Austria. If that helps you at all. Is that right down the street from you? Is that the same county that you live in? I don't know. Are there states in Austria?
I think
provinces.
I think Austria's a little bigger than that.
Yeah, dude. But give me a map. I will not be able to point it out to you. I promise you. All I know is it's got to be near German because I always confuse Austrian accents for German accents. So is that not a thing? I don't know. See, just don't ever listen to me. I'm fucking dumb. Skydiving pilot. I was gonna say Sky Divine pilot, which is fucking just as sexy. With a $5 tip says, "Let's get the host to PAX East. Where's the link at?" Yeah, I mean, here. Let's. I'll put the GoFundMe in the chat. Guys, I think we're halfway there.
Let's go.
Leo AI is telling me how to pronounce the name of the town. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's pronounced T-Rollin. T-Rollin? I don't fucking know. But yeah, hit up the GoFundMe, guys. We're about halfway. We just want to make sure we get everyone to PAX East. Today I get the email from PAX, unfortunately, that we here's what the GoFundMe page looks like. I got the word today from PAX that we did not get the panel room. So if we do a live Gamescast, then we got to figure out a different way to do it. But literally just got the notification today. So unfortunately, I don't know how that's going to go quite yet.
Live from Brian's hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the fun part was
We'll just do it on the floor. We'll just do it on the floor. People do those interviews and stuff all the time on the floor. They stop developers and talk to them. I'm sure we can get away with it. Maybe.
Yeah, I thought the fun part would be like to have an audience and have those people come up and do actual what's it called? Like viewer takeover questions and stuff. So, I don't know. We'll
still do something fun.
We'll still do something fun. But yeah, you guys get the GoFundMe link, so do what you want with that. Here, I'm gonna get back to the fan funding listing here. We got Nihilist Ryan, the game feeling with the $5 tip says another great week for PSVR2. We do hope. AJ, it's Monday. I know that we haven't been on top of this shit lately, and the last few weeks have been nuts. I had Ian Higton on as a guest in your absence. We took a week off. I think you were here for one of them in one of those interstitial ones, but I don't think we did any GameCat name changes. So I think, AJ, after all this time, maybe we get back on schedule with some typical Monday nonsense.
That's right, Brian. We would like to thank those who support us in another way by changing their name to something GameCat, something GameCat related, or something GameCat adjacent, as you and something GameCat adjacent like to say. Salute. And this week we have 3 new GameCats to welcome to the GameCat Dojo.
I never fixed the graphic. My apologies.
Starting with Wolf in a GameCat clothing.
Well, I like that. Bing. Wolf in GameCat clothing. I like that. Don't trust him.
We've also got Random Toxie, the 2024 VR Hype Cat. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Bing! Yeah, we got GameCat name changes from the turn of the year, from the new year. This is crazy, man. Like we're definitely falling behind on this shit.
Hype Cat. I like that. We need more Hype Cats around here. Finally, last but certainly not least, we've got our old friend, Serial Killer, the not so new GameCat.
Bing. The not so new GameCat. Serial Killer, you're definitely not new. Not even a little bit. I think that's a terrible name. I think this is one of your worst. Guys, if you change your name to GameCat because you love us almost as much as we love you, make sure you change your name on Google or YouTube or whatever it takes to change your YouTube username, and then put hashtag GameCat beneath any Without Parole videos so AJ can give you a shout out, just like he gave these 3 fine, we're assuming gentlemen, a shout out on today's show. Bing, 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 bing. Nope, that didn't work. Yes, it did. Cool. AJ, we got a bunch of news stories to talk about today. Let's start off with something that we've both been playing for the last few days here. Ultra Wings 2. Ultra Wings 2 shadow dropped. This is not the intentions of developer BitPlanet Games. Game came out unbeknownst to them. I actually DM'd them and I was like, "Hey guys, congratulations on the launch. Surprised that you did a shadow drop." And I think that was the first they'd heard of it.
That's how they found out that the game released.
I think it might have been, to be honest with you. What do you think, man? I mean, obviously we haven't gotten the day one patch yet, like, because they're still prepping that. A lot of people have posted minor problems that they've been having. Nothing major. But even without the day one patch, I think it's been pretty good so far. What about you?
Even without the day one patch, it released in a better state than like 90% of the games that come out by like giant studios. So great job by them. And I want to really hear your thoughts on this, because I've already given my thoughts like for like 30, 45 minutes last week.
Why do you think people watch your show? Because I don't watch your show, and if I don't watch it, then no one watches it.
But I do have a fun fact here. After my show, the programmer and tech director, Mr. Alan Lawrence is his name. He has been making games since 1996. He's worked on Free Space, Red Faction, Saints Row, The Long Dark, Overlord, Polybridge 2 and 3, and Ultra Wings 2. He wrote me a really nice message and just said that he really enjoyed my thoughts on it. I was, of course, just gushing about the game because, this has been one of my most anticipated games coming out. Sure. And it's so good. It's so much fun. It's got so much charm, and it's really well technically designed. And he said, I did a lot of the work on the PSVR2 version, so it's great to see our efforts noticed and appreciated. And he just sent me a thank you. So tip of the beanie to you, Mr. Alan Lawrence, for delivering unto us a great port, PCVR port of a great game. And I am having an absolute blast with this one, Brian, but I'll let you take it away.
I was just thinking about The Long Dark. I was like, dude's worked on some really great games. I actually have the signature edition of The Long Dark still in the cellophane.
Nice.
Yeah. Dude, Ultra Wings 2, like, it had been so long since I played Ultra Wings 1 that I'd kind of, it was in the back of my mind. It was, and I think it's very easy when you let a game sort of just disappear like that, and you don't think about it for a long time, or you don't talk about how good it is. It doesn't come up on GAMESCAST anymore because it's been so long. It's easy to forget how good some of these games are, and as I'm sure you've sort of rediscovered by putting the PSVR 1 back on for your recent Viewer's Choice live stream. And so getting into Ultra Wings 2 was great, man. Like getting in there and sitting in the cockpit. And, the first thing I did was just do a free flight mode because I just wanted to see what's the resolution like, what's the frame rate like, how do the controls feel, does it have a good sense of speed, a good sense of height, a good sense of flying. And immediately, I'm flipping the little switches, I'm turning all the little levers, and then and then I start the engine, I pull the throttle. Is that what accelerates the thing? I don't know. Yeah. I don't fly planes. I don't know the names of things, and so I'm pulling all the levers.
It's also on a boat. You've also clearly never driven a boat.
Yeah, boats are stupid. Boats are dumb. But like, planes can fly over water and over land and everything else, but boats can only do water.
Go touch some grass.
That's why Spy Hunter was great. Because Spy Hunter, like, on the fly converted that shit. You didn't have to worry about nothing. Boats are dumb on their own. Just really dumb.
Okay, I'm sorry I mentioned boats. Go ahead.
You didn't know that I had this awful history with boats, did you?
I did not.
That it was gonna trigger me.
The boat touched you.
Yeah, I'll show you. It's right fucking here. Right in the balls is where it touched me. Get your fucking crappy boat tongue off my dick. Sorry, what are we talking about?
Ultra Wings 2.
It's so awesome. Good, man. It's so good. I pulled all the levers and did everything I had to, and then it started moving forward. And I pulled the flight stick back just a little bit, and I had that same exact fucking feeling I did with Ultra Wings 1, where it's like, shit, my couch is taking off. here we go. And it's just really convincing, man. And I think some of that has to do with, the 90 native that it's running at, which is really nice. I certainly people are going to complain about the low poly environments, but I'm not, because it's such a nice art style. Like it's super colorful. Everything really pops. I love the different times of day where it's like, oh, and now it's overcast and it's cloudy and it's raining or the sun's going down or the sun's coming up or it's super, it's high noon. Like all of this just feels really good. And so I just love flying around. I was definitely off to a good start, if nothing else. I got about 2 or 3 hours in today, and I will say that I got a little bit bummed out that like it all started feeling the same after a few hours. But I also feel like it's maybe not the kind of game that you want to play for like 2 or 3 hours at a time. I feel like you pop in, once a day or something, and you knock out a few missions. But did you get that feeling too? Because I felt like, oh, I'm flying through rings again. Oh, I'm shooting down drones again. I'm flying through rings again. Shooting balloons again.
Yeah, if you play for extended sessions, it can get a little repetitive. I mean, it does have a good variety and stuff with it, which helps. But to your point, graphically, what I had mentioned before was it doesn't have the sharpest resolution. It doesn't have high definition textures and stuff, but it does make up for it with really good lighting and really good the 90, like a smooth frame rate, really good lighting. And I still find the game very immersive because of the great physics. I mean, you said when you pulled up on the pulled back on the throttle or the joystick, that you felt like your couch was taking off. And like the game has really intuitive controls and really good physics, and so that really helps the immersion factor. And it's just a really, really fun game as well. And Gran Turismo kind of has the same thing. This is kind of like when a when a game is just flying or just racing or something, it's like it's amazing every time you come back to it. But after a really long time, if you just play that for a really long time, it's going to start to feel a little repetitive, of course. But with my limited time, I haven't run into that issue. So I just have like a good hour-long session or two at a time, and I have a lot of fun. And then, I go play some other stuff. I come back and I'm just like, this is so good. It keeps it fresh.
That's good. Good to hear that. Dude, I'm just so in love with. You mentioned that the resolution isn't the best, but this is what I would consider like standard resolution. Like here, we've got this like basically open world game where you can fly around and go wherever you want to, land at different airports. And it looks nice enough where I'm going to forgive it being like not 4K, right? Like it's the resolution's a little bit soft, but like, no, but this is what I would consider like the base standard. Anything lower than this, I think I'd start complaining about, but this, where it's at, I'm totally happy with this. It has a nice look to overall. And dude, man, I don't know. There's just something about those haptics in the flight stick, where we're just like, you don't have to really look down. You can feel the thunk, 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 like kind of the different notches as you're flying around. Just really, really appreciate those little things. when after you take off, you flip the switch for the landing gear, and you feel the landing gear in your sense controllers go. You can feel the landing gear receding, which is fucking crazy. It's those tiny little details that like. These are important. This is just as, if not more important in a VR game than, having, a few more realistic textures, right? It's these like little things that while you're flying, you feel the landing gear come up. I'm like, that's fucking crazy. I never would have imagined that you'd feel that in the sense controllers.
Yeah, this game doesn't do what we complain about with a lot of other games, which is like, it's like you have the PSVR2 tech and it's like you should really take advantage of it. And this game is a great example of a team, taking the time, making it feel unique to PSVR 2, taking advantage of the haptics, the adaptive triggers feel really good when you're shooting the guns. And like you said, just the way it feels is really nice.
Yeah. Just taking a look at the chat here.
Headset rumble.
Like when you crash?
Yeah, well, when you're taking off as well, so you're taking off and it's like it gets kind of like intense, and
does the headset rumble when you take off?
Yeah,
dude. Sometimes
See,
this
it's
shit's
so
so
good you didn't
subtle.
even notice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And so now I'm going to be paying attention to it and actually noticing it, which is good. But yeah, I love when things are so subtle like that you don't even notice because it's just adding to the whole feeling that you've got going on.
Dude, and on top of all this,
Yeah.
all this content in this game has a lot of content. For $20,
Yeah.
is really nice. And they included the DLC, what was paid DLC on the Quest platform. They actually just threw in there for free from the get-go here.
Yeah,
So it's an amazing value on top of all this.
Yeah, it's a port of the PC version first and foremost, right? So never mind the Quest version. No, we got
The Quest version was really good.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
we get the PC version optimized for PlayStation 5 and it's cheaper. It launched on PSVR. I checked it out today. It launched at $25, like you said. Then it had on top of that paid DLC, and we got the game and the DLC for $20, which is I think one of the best deals you could possibly get on PSVR2 right now.
Yeah. Game Cat out of the glue bagger. What up, yo? He says 3 hours in, 5% complete.
Yeah, that's another thing is I've put a few hours in today, and that percentage, I've not hit double digits yet, not even close. So it's going to take a little while. Scott, the PSVR GameCat 4 Life says, have either Brian or AJ unlocked the chopper yet? What's the chopper? Is that the lightweight one? Where
The Dragonfly.
Oh, that's like the fourth one.
It's
like an
the
actual
small
copy.
helicopter. Okay.
Yeah, no, I've unlocked it. I have the original Stinger or whatever the fuck they call it, and then I've got the lightweight one that you sit really low to the ground, and they give you the gun to pop balloons. And then I just unlocked. And I was doing. That's all I was doing. I was doing every single mission with those. They kept telling me to go to another. Airport, buy another airport, buy another airport, buy another. I was like, you fucking relax over there. Okay, I'm trying to do all the missions that I have available to me here. I don't want to rush off and go do anything else yet. Like I'm trying to be, and I probably shouldn't be if I want to review this thing. I'm trying to be way too much of a completionist.
Yeah, you have to make it to the city to get the Dragonfly. I think then it allows you to buy it once you get to the city area. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's a small helicopter, so it's not like a big, heavy, like Vietnam chopper, but it's pretty cool to cruise around in, and you can definitely do some stunt flying with it, and it's pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be getting to that over the next day or two. Then I do want to see Cerebral Frost in the chat. I was talking to Dan earlier today about the helicopter. Dan was saying how realistic a lot of these vehicles feel, compared to the real life version of them. He says Dragonfly is great with the sense controllers. Throttle is backwards with HOTAS though. I believe they're aware of that. So yeah, looking forward to that day one patch. Hopefully they'll knock out a few of these things.
Yeah. That's the only drawback of it kind of releasing early was, there's a couple minor things. I mean, I use the sense controllers, but yeah, I do completely understand, and I do want to use the HOTAS at some point too. But yeah, you have to use the rocker for now, which is on the back of the throttle to use the rudders and turning.
Yeah, it's even different. It's even different than that bug. What Dan's referring to is something that's even different from that.
The throttle is backwards.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty cool stuff. So very happy that it's here and in almost perfect shape. So
yeah, awesome stuff.
I'll tell you, man, I don't remember enough about Ultra Wings 1 to know what's different though. Like I feel like I need to go back and play that because I don't feel like this is a dramatic improvement over that game. That game was great for the time, and I just don't.
This adds combat, more planes.
Have you? Let me ask you this, AJ. Have you? I've done a little bit of the combat stuff. Yeah. I mean, outside of the like fly through rings and shoot down drones, the stuff with like planes that fly at you and like, is there any strategy to that? Because like right now, I've succeeded at all of it. I've succeeded doing all of it, but I see my shields going down, and I'm like, man, if there's like any more enemies, I'm in trouble because I'm just flying directly at them because they're flying directly at me, and I'm just shooting at them. Then they fly past me. I circle around and then shoot from behind before they have a chance to circle around again. If there's more of a strategy to it than that, then I'm in trouble.
Well, it gets a little bit, it changes things up a little bit, and there's different types of enemies that you have to fight. And I mean, it starts out, you just like kind of like a head-on dogfight kind of thing. But later on, as you get a little bit further, there'll be like ground targets that you have to take out, and there's like turrets, and then there's also planes, and so it gets a little chaotic later, and it's pretty cool. It progresses. There's like a progression to the combat.
Okay, cool. I did like that. I did like that if I save up enough money, that if I decide to just grind a little bit and not buy new airports and not buy new planes, I could buy like infinite ammo and infinite gas for some of my vehicles.
That takes out the strategy then, because the conserving ammunition is definitely an important part of the strategy.
Yeah, one of the early times where they were like, "Oh, fly through the rings and shoot down the drones," I was like I cannot get better than a silver, because I'm gonna miss some of those rings, because otherwise the drones they just take off. Like they take off and then disappear into the air, and you cannot, and that's where all your points come from in those missions. So you have to. So far, there was one mission that I cannot get better than a silver in, and I need to let it go. I need to let it go. But Jay Cheesecurd in the chat reminding me that I have family members that I didn't know existed. He says, "Hey Brian, it's James. Dude, I went to my grandmother's 99th birthday this weekend, and it's been so long since I've seen some of my extended family that there are entire people in my family that didn't exist the last time I saw them." And so I met new family members. Pretty crazy.
Very nice. Shout out to Grandma. 99 years young. Let's go.
99. It's insane. I got my fingers crossed. I'm shooting for 60.
I'm shooting for 69. That's
just so you can go 69. Woo. You're doing it.
So I can walk around with a shirt on my birthday, my 69th birthday, that says nice.
Nice. Well, shout out to James. Thanks for being here, buddy. All right, man. What's next on our run of show here? We got a game that was announced this week. It's actually coming out in about 2 weeks, I think, for Quest 2 and 3, called Titanic: A Space Between. And it's made by two people, and think whatever you want about that. We've had some amazing games made by even less than that. What did you think of this trailer, man? I thought it looked great.
Yeah, I think this game looks really, really cool. Actually, it's, I kind of missed Freediver Triton Down, where you're escaping from the ship. Like, I thought that was a really cool experience.
Really great.
And this I'm hoping that this is something similar, but this has got some crazy stuff going on with it. It's a time travel, plot. It's you're on the Titanic. There's like ghosts or goblins or something.
Goblins.
or aliens. I don't know what they are, but there's like, it's like got a horror twist to it. So I'm really digging what I'm seeing from here. And then on top of that, they're, boasting it's a high fidelity graphics, and, they want to make it look really good. So I'm imagining this is going to be a shorter game. But if it's a really, really cool experience, then I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're getting really used to short games. And Propagation Paradise Hotel, which was like 4 hours or so, that was taking our time. But it was stunning. It was memorable. Every moment was great. So if we get anything even close to that, because I mean, Wanted Dev Studio is a super small studio as well. If we get anything even close to that, I mean, the fidelity that they're showing in this trailer is pretty exceptional. I mean, it's shown. Everything looks like super fast and fluid. It looks like a great frame rate. The physics from the water look great. The caption at the beginning of the trailer said footage captured from MetaQuest, assuming MetaQuest 3, and which, by the way, I ordered over the weekend and it showed up yesterday, but it did not make it to my address. And so somebody in Worcester now owns a Quest 3 courtesy of me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Luckily Amazon was like, "Don't worry, we got you covered. We'll send you another one." And I was like, "To the correct address, or are they just going to get another one?"
Just send it again.
Right. So and this is a game I'm definitely going to be checking out as soon as I possibly can. Like I said, I think it comes out in like 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably hold off because later on it's going to be coming to PCVR and PSVR2.
Yep.
And they've I think the developers confirmed that. Yeah, they did actually confirm. Thanks to somebody who left a comment on my tweet, and the developer, actually our good friend Jesus Fabre from Pixel Ripped, was the marketing guy for Pixel Ripped,
Yep.
and what was that kart racing game?
Oh, you're talking about the Ivanovich
Touring
one?
carts. Yeah, touring carts.
Yep.
And he asked the devs on the commenters' behalf and confirmed that they're going to be updating the PC. It's going to have some enhancements for PSVR2. So I'm definitely going to wait for that.
Yeah, I'm done waiting, AJ. This is sort of the mantra of 2024, right? I'm done waiting. I'm tired of waiting. I'm just this is what you and I were talking over the weekend. That was the reason I bought a Quest 3, was because I was like, fuck this, man. I'm so tired of, like, here we are. We're 11 months into the lifespan of PSVR 2. No announcement of Half-Life Alyx, which is not a major surprise. But at the same time, like, I can't fucking wait my whole life waiting for shit to come to PSVR 2. So I think you guys are going to hear me hear me. I mean, obviously, I'm not changing like the focus of the channel or anything, but I think I'm going to start being a little bit more experimental as far as my recreation time goes. I'm going to start checking out PC VR games a little bit more. I'm going to be checking out Quest games a little bit more, and starting to get some firsthand experiences and firsthand previews on these games that are coming to PSVR 2 later, or games that we just hope are coming to PSVR 2. I don't want to wait anymore, man. I'm tired of waiting. There's a whole world out there full of games, which you are fully becoming aware of yourself, that I don't want to wait anymore for.
You're such a traitor.
I am.
I'm just kidding.
People are unsubscribing by the second, AJ. You turn your back on us, we turn our back on you, Brian.
Yeah, no, I upgraded my PC a while back too, and I really just want to be knowledgeable. Like, I want to be more knowledgeable about if we're gonna be up here talking about everything. We have one goal, you and I, Brian, and that is to make sure that everybody knows what the best games are to play, what the best experiences, and so for science, I've been diving into some a little bit of PCVR. I've really been still playing mostly PSVR 2, but to try and get caught up with kind of the other things going on, I've dived into that just a little bit. And once I get enough going, then can't wait to tell you the best findings that I've been able to discover.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been preaching VR agnosticity, if that's a word. Saying that just like I don't think that you're going to get a full gaming experience if you just have a PlayStation 5. I think a PS5 and a Switch is a great combination. I've always said that you have a Quest 2 and or you have PC VR and PlayStation VR 2, then you're sitting pretty. I've always had multiple headsets. I had a Quest 1 when it came out. I had a Quest 2 when it came out. It's all good stuff. Do I love my PSVR 2 far more than I've ever loved any of the other headsets? Yes, I do, and that's why this channel exists. But I don't want to limit myself. That's for sure.
Yeah, my early impressions are that I don't really like standalone very much.
Right.
But PCVR is very close to a PSVR 2 experience so far. So I'm liking what I'm seeing there so far.
Nice. Very nice. And honestly, AJ, let's be fair. This might be the only way I get to play Bioshock VR.
Maybe.
Anyway, let's move along. We got dude. I mean, the news broke today. We got a state of play coming on Wednesday. If anybody's curious how we're gonna handle that, I figure Wes and I will live stream it, and that'll kind of like it'll just flow right into GAMESCAST. So you're basically getting GAMESCAST about an hour and a half early on Wednesday. We're gonna start the show, 20-30 minutes before State of Play, which it starts at 5 p.m. Eastern. GAMESCAST show starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then we'll watch the show and we'll follow it up with some reactions after that. And that'll be GAMESCAST. That'll take the place of GAMESCAST on Wednesday. AJ, what is the PlayStation blog saying about this?
Oh, let's see.
I mean, I have
State
it
of
up
Play
here. Oh, you
returns
got it.
this Wednesday. Join us January 31st for 40 minutes covering 15 plus games, including Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin. But that's not it. This is from Herman Holst himself.
Screw that guy.
He says, "Hi, everyone. 2024 has just begun, and it's time for our very first State of Play. The broadcast will be over 40 minutes long and feature guest appearances from some of the most talented minds in gaming.
No one cares.
Among other updates, we'll feature extended looks at Stellar Blade and Rise of the Ronin, two great games coming to PS5 this year. And we'll give you a new look at other titles coming to PS5 and PSVR2 in 2024 and beyond."
And that's it. That's like the entire thing. Other than saying the show starts Wednesday, January 31st at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. This live stream may contain content inappropriate for children. I don't think they normally say that, AJ. So let's hope for some blood and guts and fucking just straight up pornography.
Sure.
It's interesting. It's interesting. 40 minutes long. Would they say over 15 games? Would they say?
Yeah, 15 plus games.
15 plus. All right, so let's
thing to say, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 15 plus.
Well, they don't want. I'm assuming.
So 16. I don't like. It's a weird play to say 16 games.
I'm assuming they don't want people sitting there going 1,
2. Yeah, it probably gives them some wiggle room to
right. And so if you get to the 15th game or the 16th game, right, and you go, "Oh, is that it?" And then they go, "Oh, one more thing," and you're like, "Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. We were already at 16." Right. So I don't know. Maybe that helps keep the surprise. I don't fucking know. I'm over analyzing this, but AJ, just thinking back a little bit, and maybe I should have researched this before the show. I definitely should have researched this before the show. What big PSVR games or PSVR2 games have been announced at State of Play? Like, this is where we heard about RE4, right? And this is where we heard about Resident Evil Village.
That is correct. Right? It was a State of Play where they announced all the original. I mean, those were the first VR2 games. We also got a State of Play that showed, Synapse, Journey to Foundation, I think Foglands, Demeo, Star Wars, Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. So it's kind of a crapshoot as to what we'll see. You'd like to think that, this is Sony's big stage, and, this is the start of the year. This is really, especially after the last State of Play, it's like, which wasn't like horrible, but I think, there's always this hard time of Sony meeting the expectations, being in tune with what the community wants and showing them that on the big stage and hyping it up the proper way. That's always been kind of a miss, other than some exceptions, of course. But yeah, I mean, they kind of in the thing here, they kind of tacked on VR, PlayStation, other PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2 games. So there should be something, I would imagine, something significant, or at least something Sony thinks is significant, to be shown here. And then, like maybe something Sony invested in. And also, what you got to keep in mind is that the 1 year anniversary of PlayStation VR 2 is also coming, February 22nd. Or was it the 22nd or 23rd that it launched? 23rd? Anyways, one of those days, late in February. So I imagine they'll be doing something around that time as well, and maybe have some big surprises for that as well. So I think between January 31st and the month of February, especially around the year anniversary, I think is a good opportunity, and I think we're going to see some kind of get to finally see a look at what we can expect this year.
Yeah, for sure. This really got me wondering, like, what's I don't know. I don't know if we'll see anything new during State of Play. I feel like this might be a good opportunity for them to, remind us of some stuff that's coming, maybe give us some release dates. As you said, the studios that they partnered with. It's really weird that that Gaijin Entertainment has been making Aces of Thunder for so long at this point, and previewing it or giving us little snippets, but at no point has anybody from Gaijin to Sony said anything about PSVR2 exclusivity or PS5 exclusivity, yet they haven't announced this title for anything else. So you've got to figure there's some deal behind the scenes, just like when, PlayStation's not out there saying, we paid the guys at Endreams to make Synapse, or we paid everybody at Capcom to make Resident Evil games. Like they do this and they're all kind of quiet about it. So,
right.
So but then it shows up on their state of plays and you're like, oh, okay, now I kind of understand the relationship a little bit more. And I think that's exactly what's happening with Aces of Thunder, is that it's an exclusive paid for by Sony and they're just not really talking about that. But this Wednesday sounds like the perfect time for Aces of Thunder to make a reappearance, especially since Gaijin just tweeted like a week or two ago that the game's almost done.
Yeah, for sure. We have kind of been in a similar situation though, and then like none of that happened. Like they completely blindsided us with some other things. So you really, like, Sony are intentionally really, really hard to predict what they're going to do, and that goes both ways, and sometimes a good way and a bad way. Like I said, this is a good opportunity for them to get some excitement going for the brand, for PSVR2. So we'll see how they end up handling it. Definitely going to be tempering my expectations, trying to keep them low, but I am also very hopeful for some big, exciting things.
So by being extremely vague, does that mean you're not going to tell me what you're hoping to see?
Astrobot, baby. This is the year.
Yep.
This is okay. Yep. So honestly, I originally kind of thought Astrobot, this would be the year that Astrobot gets announced at least. And I kind of thought maybe around the summertime though. Summer, later year. I'm not going to give up hope for a new Astrobot game. It's been 3 years, and Team Asobi's been working on something. I couldn't think of a better place. So I'm going to go ahead and set everyone up for disappointment and say Astrobot will be announced, and we'll have next gen VRAF features because Team Asobi's amazing at gameplay design and stuff. And it's also going to be possibly having multiplayer in it.
AJ, I see Kurakasis is in the chat, and Kurakasis is the source of some of today's rumors. He was the one who was basically pointing to State of Play coming very soon before Sony announced today that there was a State of Play on Wednesday. He was the one telling everybody it was going to be very, very soon. He was spot on about that. He's also the source of the next rumor we're going to talk about. But before we get to the big story of the day, the big rumor of the day, I do want to something that I was going through his Twitter feed, and he was mentioning that there's big news coming soon about Judas, which is obviously Ken Levine's game from the BioShock studio, which is a much smaller studio now. I'm right. Ghost Story Games is a very small team compared to the team that made BioShock, 1, 2, and 3 back in the day. What do you think the big news regarding Judas could be?
I mean, of course, we've been talking about, we know that, Sony tries to do these hybrid games, and it's not like every single game as we had hoped for. But they have delivered some to some degree. Resident Evil, Gran Turismo 7, No Man's Sky. They've funded a lot of these things happening. Resident Evil 4 and Village. So it would be nice to see some new games come out, some brand new IPs. I know that's really been the mentality that Sony has been displaying. They didn't make the console backwards compatible. And their goal has, and they haven't really done they haven't done any remasters. They've seemed pretty dead set on trying to have new games and new IPs and things like that. And maybe if anything, sequels. And so yeah, the something like this would be amazing if it had VR support. And I think if a game is first person, and then it gives it a better chance of being a successful port. Maybe we'll get Judas, a new Judas release window trailer or something, and then it'll pop up later and it'll say VR content in development, and then it'll be taken out of the trailer later and then show up again, and they'll announce it at the next state of play saying Judas PSVR2 content in development, and then they'll take it down again, and then another state of play and they'll be like Judas in PSVR2 version, and that's all they'll tell us.
All right, this has sort of been you're useless sometimes, you know that? You're useless. This has been sort of kicking around the back of my brain all day, like what would be what would be something that other people would consider big news about Judas, right? Because I think only people in our community and people at PSVR2, I think a very small amount of people would consider, oh, Judas has VR support, big news. That's not something that I think most people would go, oh my God, that's such big news, right? Like what? So I tried to kind of take myself out of our little bubble here and think what it could be. And part of me was like, well, I guess if they said it was like PS5 exclusive, which would be very, very strange considering the publisher and all those relationships. I don't think that's the case. And I went to a strange place just for a second. And I think what it is, and this is not going to be true, but the only thing that I can come up with is that Judas is just a code name for this game, and that it's going to turn out to be an official game in the BioShock or System Shock franchise. That they were given the IP, the rights to make an official game, right? Because I don't think Ghost Story actually owns the rights to that. I think 2K does, and so 2K would have to like bless them and say you can use the BioShock name for this, which I think would be fucking really cool, especially considering the look of this game, because what made BioShock 1 and 2 so cool was Rapture. I mean, yes, all the you know the other parts about it, the Big Daddy boss fights were awesome. Harvesting. What were the I don't know. There was a lot of cool stuff, but Rapture, the setting was the appeal. And then you go to Columbia in the third one, which was like the city in the sky, and I was like, this is boring. Like, I am not interested in this, and it lost me completely. But then you look at something like this, and you're like, oh man, like this environment, this is reminiscent of Rapture. It's like similar to Rapture, but there's something different about it. I don't know, man. I'm sort of hoping it's still its own new thing as Judas, but at the same time, I'm sort of hoping that they kind of bring BioShock back to what made it cool to begin with.
That would be huge. I mean, whether or not we're interested, that would be absolutely huge if it turned out to be a BioShock and if it was exclusive, then I'm sure that would get all the console wars riled up again, as if they didn't need to be for any reason.
What do you get? What do you get?
Yeah, but yeah, that would be huge. But obviously, the only thing I care about is either VR support or like even that game that came out, like Atomic Heart. I know it maybe didn't. I don't think it maybe got like the best reviews, but still be cool.
We've talked about
System Shock. Everyone keeps mentioning System Shock 2, though. But God, that's like one of my favorite games of all time. So y'all quit it. You're getting me too excited.
I have to admit, I've never played System Shock 1 or 2.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Well, you've played The Persistence, which is close.
It's like the same game.
No, it's not. It's not. The System Shock is better, but it's like Persistence, but better. Put it that way.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know.
But yeah, I'd like to think that there's some new things here. Well, usually for a state of play, I'd imagine there's going to be some new surprises, which is going to make it harder to predict. Maybe we get like Aces of Thunder release date, something. Maybe they show off Wander. It would be really cool for them to give some love to, like, I think if I think Wander and I just keep wanting to say System Shock now. The chat has corrupted me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a really important state of play to set the tone for 2024. So while we're all going to probably have our expectations in check and lowered, and just kind of be like, oh yeah, this is what we, no surprise here. This is really a good opportunity for Sony to actually send a message that they do listen and they do care. But we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, you said something along the lines of Atomic Heart didn't get the greatest reception, but like it would be great if we got VR for it. And this is something that we've talked about probably ad nauseum for the last fucking 7 years. But the fact is that, again, like something like Dead Island 2 is the perfect 7 out of 10 on the flat screen, but in VR, it would be like 9 out of 10, right? And so like that's why these games really need VR support, because it would be just the greatest way to play them. These mid-level games are just so much better once they've been given VR support.
Yeah.
And so,
but should we talk about the actual rumor that's going around?
In just a moment, after we give a shout out to Joe Gaslighter with the level 1 membership that says just donated $40 to your PAX East meetup. Thank you so much, Joe Gaslighter. I don't know if he did or not. He may just be gaslighting us, AJ. Anything is possible, but thank you so much for that. Herc UK with the £2 says, first tip, avoid yellow snow. Stay frosty, cats. That's a good tip.
Great tip.
It's a lot of snow around here lately. Living Legend with the Canadian $5 tip says PS5, Vita, Switch OLED, PS3, and PC gives you the best of all 5 worlds. That's going above and beyond to be able to play everything you want to play. But you know what? Do it up, dude. I've got a backwards compatible PS3. It's actually, I traded my Quest 2 for a backwards compatible PS3 a few months back, and I've been using it so much this week. Like, I've been playing so many PlayStation 2 games, and I got to tell you, AJ, it's not nostalgia. It is not nostalgia. Those games, like, that is peak gaming, PS2 era. Like, that shit aged extremely well. Extremely
good.
Jay Cheese
It's all right. It's only one of the best-selling systems of all time. No big deal.
And for good reason. Jay Cheese Curd with $5 tip says, sorry, sirens on my end. Message retracted. I don't know what you wrote, James, but thank you so much for the donation. I feel like I'm gonna have to do a refund at the end of this. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat with gifted a without parole membership. That's very generous of you, Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat. All right, yeah, let's get to the big rumor of the day. We're already running a little bit late here. Over on you know what? Let me just bring up the entire Twitter feed here. Over on the Kurakasis Twitter feed. AJ, first and foremost, had you ever heard of Kurakasis before today?
Nope.
Oh. That I can infer from your nope that you're like, I don't believe a fucking thing this dude says.
Well, the timing, the timing, the show being so close, this sounds like a case where, maybe know somebody, had a conversation with somebody, and they leaked a little something. And
kind of how leaks work. Yeah.
Yeah. And you never know these days. It can really come from a variety of different places. And, obviously my first thought was like skepticism. Sure. But I am, and I still have a little bit of skepticism here. But these things, it could happen like this. Let's put it that way. It could definitely happen this way. State of play now gets announced, and that turned out to be true. And, possibly some of the content of the state of play has been ruined now. No, I'm just kidding. Has been possibly leaked.
Okay.
It's an interesting one. It's a very, very interesting pick here.
For sure. So what we're seeing here is that Kurakasis has tweeted, I can reveal that a new Metro game, which is going to be announced very, very soon, is a VR game titled Metro Awakening. He followed it up by saying, I don't know if the game is single player or multiplayer or both, and I don't know if the game is VR only. I mean, listen, the fact here is that, like, if you didn't know a Metro VR game was in development for the better part of the last year, then you just haven't been paying attention. Right? Because Paradox of Hope, that VR only game got good.
This crossed my mind too. This crossed my mind as well.
That got taken down due to copyright infringement. It was a Steam only game that was coming to PSVR2 later on, and then that guy was very much cagey about the whole situation. Like, right, he wasn't trying to, Paradox of Hope developer wasn't trying to start a fight. He wasn't trying to, like, even garner support for his cause, right? He was like, listen, I'm just going to do what needs to be done. I'm going to take down my game. I'm going to restructure it and give it a new setting. And then we're going to try this again. And in all fairness, he's killing it, right? He's already got his game back up on, it's coming soon and all that, and with a new setting. And so immediately we're like, well, the only game that even resembles Paradox of Hope is Metro, right? And so we're like, well, why when games like Stride are coming out by Joyway and not getting taken down with copyright infringement claims from EA, who holds the rights to Mirror's Edge, then why is this happening to him? And the only thing anybody could say was, well, obviously, clearly, somebody's making a Metro game, right?
It would make sense,
right? And Embracer Group owns Metro IP. Embracer Group also owns VR Dev Studio that we all are familiar with, Vertigo Games. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you're not putting all these pieces together and saying, yeah, a Metro game is in development by Vertigo Games, then you just kind of haven't been paying attention, I think.
Yeah, and Vertigo also did announce that they are working on a very popular IP, like a long time ago.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
They did mention that they were working on some big, and everyone was like, could it be Saints Row? And I think we actually did speculate that it would be Metro that would make the most sense at that time.
Maybe. Maybe. I've never been.
I'm just gonna say that and take credit for it.
Perfect. I'm 100% down to do that.
I don't know.
What's your do you have a history with the Metro games? Because I don't. Like, I've tried to play like Metro, I believe Exodus or something, and I got a couple hours in, and I was like, this is cool. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, so I was like, whatever. The gunplay seemed fine, and it seemed like there were some deeper mechanics other than just running around shooting people. So it seemed like it was going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I don't think I got past. I mean, yeah, I've played them, but I don't think I got beyond going around shooting people and robots and different things. But there's or no, I don't know if it was robots or not. But I might be confusing that with something else. But yeah, I played a little bit of Metro Last Light and Metro Exodus. And the reason I wanted to try it out, I actually have always been very interested in it, but for some reason I just never got around to playing it more. But I think when it was a PlayStation Plus game, like forever ago, is like the first time I tried it out, or it was dirt cheap or something, because they were always on sale. And the thing that interested me was that it was like heavily story driven, and it's based off a book, and you could tell by the way that it right away it feels very narrative driven, heavily story driven, and the writing was interesting. Like, I was like, oh, like this writing stood out to me a little bit. But then on top of that, it's this dark post-apocalyptic shooter on top of it that was pretty fun. And if we have learned anything, is that people love making VR games out of dark shooters.
Okay. Well, listen, if all the planets are aligning the way we think that they are, do you think that Vertigo has the chops to make a built from the ground up for VR Metro game? If that's what we're assuming this is, right? It's got a new title, according to that Twitter account. It's got a new title, and so I'm assuming that this is not just a port of. Hold on a second. What was?
Right.
Well, I'm stammering here because I can't even remember the name of the. What was it? Awakenings?
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Awakening. So I guess that could technically be a
Sounds like a prequel.
or either a prequel or like a retelling of the first story, right, of the original. And so now I don't know, and I'll tell you, it does make me nervous a little bit that because Vertigo, just did Bulletstorm. No, they didn't. What am I talking about?
No,
Incuvo made Bulletstorm, so I'm way less nervous. But Vertigo just made Arizona Sunshine too, and I think them developing things from the ground up isn't the greatest thing. I think if they're taking the mechanics and the systems from Metro, an actual Metro game, then I think we're okay, right? But if they're just being tasked to do it on their own and say, hey, make a Metro game the way you think. I mean, Arizona Sunshine 2, man, was like that was a prime example of like just how to throw away a crafting system. It was like it just wasn't implemented well, by not having an inventory and not giving you a reason to craft, even though you're searching every environment for tons of shit to use. There's never a reason for it, and so I feel like that maybe these guys are not the right guys to do something with deeper mechanics like a Metro would have.
Well, I kind of disagree. I mean, Arizona Sunshine 2, Seventh Guest, their last couple games have been really good.
I mean, they've been good 7 out of 10 games.
I thought they were a little bit better than that, but yeah, I mean, I think what's the risk between them and any other VR studio at this point? Like they have just as good of a chance of making it great than anyone does. So this certainly would align with a lot of things, but also with Vertigo being, Vertigo did announce that it was Meta, not Sony, that was paying them to make some big things. So it would be a little weird for them to announce this at a state of play versus like a Meta Connect or whatever they call those.
Yeah. I don't.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, but I don't see this being at state of play. Although, I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know. I'm always surprised by some of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last Vertigo game we got was Seventh Guest, right? And that was shown off somewhere else, and then we did see it at a state of play with the PlayStation VR2 logo on it, unless I'm just misremembering how that all went down. So maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't have a lot of faith. I don't think Vertigo was talking about making a AAA game, and I was like, I don't know what makes you think you can do that, because so far you haven't proven that you can do it.
They make games that are pretty higher quality, maybe some AAA qualities, but qualities like little qualities.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, like I definitely like a real AAA game. Definitely not.
Yeah, no, they make pretty decent VR games. I'll say that, but like, if you were to bring those games to flat screen, they couldn't compete with what's going on over there. No. But hey, what are you gonna do? Still very cool. Hopefully, hopefully this is a bigger deal for them than their other games have been. Hopefully these are will have deeper mechanics and have more going on than a standard Vertigo game. And
if it's even real.
Yeah, I think AA is stretching it, Kevin Russ. I think that's stretching it way too much. But yeah. Let's see what the chat's saying. Dude, Shapeshifter gifted 5 PSVR 2 without Parole memberships. There's a lot of generous cats in the chat today.
Robert says Triple B.
Triple B. I like it.
Triple B games, baby.
Triple B works. There's a term triple I for indie games, and I kind of really like that, just because it's like, these really solid, amazingly well produced independent games. Although I guess Vertigo's they're not indie. They're just somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I don't know how that's all gonna go down. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Listen, we are definitely running over our time, but it is. I think I think this is good, man. I think 2024 is off to a pretty decent start, and I like that we've got a state of play in 2 days. If we see anything new or even just updates on a couple of games that we'd already heard about before, I'd listed in our run to show that like I could even see Phasmophobia being there, because again, it's this really small indie game, but it's one of those games that so many fucking people are into. You know, that like it kind of belongs in a state of play, regardless of how indie it is. Like huge sales on Steam. So it's a game that a lot of people are excited to play on PSVR2, on PS5, Xbox. So I feel like Phasmophobia could be there as well, like if they're getting closer to launch.
Yeah, I'd really like to see something new, something not previously announced, unless it's like a release date that's thrown in there, like a game with a release date. I'm totally fine with that. But I really want to see. I think what PSVR2 needs right now is some new big announcements that people can look forward to.
Foxdie Inferno with the €5 says, "Great show as always. Glad to hear AJ also likes our song VR United." Game Cats.
Yes,
I didn't know Foxdie Infected was a member of Panda.
Let's go.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. AJ, it is time to do a little bit of 20 questions, then we'll get out of here. Do you have a game picked out?
I do.
Cool. Well, then let's get this show on the road. Guys, you know how this works. We got 20 yes or no questions and only 6 minutes to figure out what PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game AJ is thinking of. So let's get that thing going right now. You know, I was on the Virtual Strangers End of Year show, AJ.
Yeah.
And it was really nice because I didn't have to run the show and I could just sit back and talk about all the great things that happened in PSVR 2 land this year. Didn't have to talk about anything negative. It was just fun. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, make sure you go check out. I don't know where in the 15-hour show that I am. I don't know if it's in part 1 or part 2. So good luck with that. I hope there's timestamps.
Yeah.
But
yeah, PSVR 2 is a lot of fun if you don't look at the internet constantly.
Well,
it's way better if you just go and play it and enjoy it and whatever, and play the games that come out, or the good ones at least. You know, it's actually a lot better.
Well, it's a lot more fun to talk about on an end of the year show when you're only talking about the good stuff rather than talking about PSVR 2 3 times a week, which means you got to get it into the nitty gritty and talk about some of the not so great stuff. AJ, let's do this. On my mark, get Des, go. AJ, is this game on PSVR 2?
No.
I knew it. You guys, this is just proof that AJ hates me.
Welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, okay. So it's PSVR 1. Did this game come out in the first 2 years of the system?
No.
Okay. Not first 2 years. Did it have aim support?
Negative.
Okay. No aim support. Shooting guns? Is that what you're doing mostly in this game? You like shooting guns? Pew pew. Pew 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 pew.
No.
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 Okay. Not a lot of gun shooting. Would you call this a puzzle game?
No. That's 5.
So you're not shooting stuff with guns. Are you shooting stuff with arrows?
You can.
Oh. Okay. Oh, does this have multiple playable characters?
Ooh. Sort of.
You guys heard it here first. He's AJing the fuck out of this. Multiple characters, sort of. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
K Dalman in the chat asks if it's a music game, like rhythm at all, I guess.
Negative.
Okay. Let's see. Mark Pringles Leaf is asking if it's part of a known IP or franchise.
No.
I can't. It can't be Apex, Construct, GameCat, Photonutter because that was the first 2 years, I believe, of PSVR.
Y'all are so screwed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, maybe we'll see. You have gotten plenty of mine with like the last guess, leap of faith, Hail Marys.
Okay.
But I don't like your chances here.
Is there any multiplayer aspect to this?
Yes, there is multiplayer. That's 10.
All right.
I believe there is. There's supposed to be.
Oh boy. There we go. You see that nice, clean, concise answer we got at first? That was not very AJ. Looper is asking if it has swords. You know, let me widen that question before you answer it. Does it have swords or other melee combat?
Should just keep it to swords. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, it's supposed to.
What?
But I don't think it does.
It's supposed to, but I don't think it does. Okay.
Yeah, it does. It does have some form of melee combat.
Okay.
It does. It does have some form of melee combat. Yes.
Okay. Is the multiplayer element of this is that the way most people would play? Like, is it mostly focused on multiplayer? This takes care of your Zenith question, guys.
I don't know. I will give you a freebie there. I don't know.
Okay, so it's not Zenith, you guys. Let's give him. I think we can say that. Rypop's wondering if it's tower defense, any kind of tower defense style game.
No kind of tower defense. Mike Kelly, this game did actually ever get released.
Did you call it? Would you call this a wave shooter?
No, definitely not.
All right, there goes Ancient Emulator, Kevin Russ. It can't be Quiver. Don't forget, guys. It's good. It's supposed to have multiplayer. Table of Tales really wasn't focused on the multiplayer. Like the multiplayer was terrible in that. We're gonna.
Can I give you? Do you want a hint?
No. Okay, fine. Give me a hint.
I've never played this game.
This is not going well then. Okay.
I'm using the store description.
All right. See, I like Trickster, but like, I mean, the only thing I can say about like is are the levels randomly generated? Is there any? Yeah. Are the levels randomly generated?
No, I've played. No, they're not, and I've played Trickster.
Okay. This is it a roguelite?
It is not a roguelike. That's 15.
Okay, there goes In Death, you guys. Yeah. I was thinking Baby Hands too, you guys, because oh shit, someone just throw something out because we are out of time. Whatever the next suggestion is, I'm just gonna say it. Whatever it is.
Was it a flop? Yeah, I would say so.
Yep.
Most likely.
Looper said Marvels. We're gonna go with Marvels. Is it Marvels?
It is not Marvels.
AJ, what the fuck
releasing
is this game?
On November 13th of 2023, only a few months ago.
Wait.
Published by AppNori Inc. It is the sports game, all-in-one sports VR that I had no idea released on the PlayStation Store. And apparently it features, it is $19.99. That's very expensive. It has 9
It is
ratings.
single player only, by the way.
Oh, it says in the description.
It's lying.
Supports up to 2 online players with PS Plus. It has, listen to this, a variety of sports titles experiences: baseball, archery, which is why I said that, ping pong, basketball, bowling, golf, dart, billiard, not even billiard, and boxing,
Billiard,
which is why I
like
said
it.
it had some kind of melee combat.
All right.
It also says, hold on, listen to this. It says real-time PvP by multiplay, and then it says boxing is not yet supported. I've never seen a description say, oh yeah, actually the game, it says boxing and then it says boxing not supported. So I was like, does it have boxing or not? I don't know. There's player customization.
That's
simple
crazy.
UI
Crazy.
and easy. I don't know. Did you play this at all?
No,
'Cause I'm
no.
very
I
curious
haven't.
about this.
I haven't at all. Like I mean, this is, you know, I would love to hit pause on life and go review a bunch of PSVR1 games that literally 50 people are going to care about. But like, because I want to know, and from what I had heard, this was single player only. So like, I'm actually completely shocked to find out that it's actually got multiplayer support for 2 people. So Awesome Tatum says, I own it. Let me guess, you haven't played it yet?
Yeah, I went to so when I did my Saturday Night live stream, I actually had to go download a bunch of games back because I was like, oh shit, I don't have all of my stuff set up. And I went to the store and then I see some new sets of games. I see Zombie Adventure VR. I thought that already came out a while ago.
Wait,
There was
Zombie
like a
Adventure isn't this the horror adventure expansion? Or
That's what I think it is. That's new, that just released, and then like All-in-One Sports just released, and I was like, oh, there's stuff still releasing on the PlayStation Store.
I mean, Horror Adventure was probably one of the worst PSVR 1 games we ever got. I actually reviewed that piece of shit.
I played Space Adventure.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was awful. It was probably the worst thing I've ever played in my life.
Yeah. Oh, Horror Adventure Zombie Edition. Got it, Looper. Thank you. Wow. That's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, I can't imagine anybody's buying these games.
Yeah, but I was actually interested in All-in-One Sports because I want a,
Wii Sports,
multifaceted,
yeah,
VR,
Yep.
for sure. I really want something like that to be good and to have something like that. So $20 though, ain't no way I can buy this for $20. No way.
No,
I might reach out to the devs, but I'm curious to check it out now that I've got my PS4 Pro next to my PSVR 1 next to my PS5 and PSVR 2 now. So it's pretty easy to put it on and play if I want to play something.
I mean, listen, I just said earlier in the show that I can't wait. I can't be waiting for games to come to PSVR 2 anymore, right? But like, honestly, it's not about the $20 for me for this game. It's about, like, am I going to spend enough time with this to actually play it and review it and whatever, and then for nobody to care? Like, if this comes to PSVR 2, I will fucking review it. I promise you guys. But this is one that I can wait for it to come to PSVR 2.
Yep.
Grandpa's Barbecue or Game Cat with the Australian $5 tip says, so glad you both felt refreshed by your breaks, Brian. I hope that doesn't get undone by AJing the fuck out of these 20 questions. Thank you, man. Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry, I only got to put up with AJ one time a week. It's not that bad, not too bad. MJ Carpenter, welcome to level 1 membership. Congratulations, you have been promoted. Dude, let's get the fuck out of here. I have Ultra Wings to play.
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate you welcoming us back with open arms. It is awesome to be doing a show again for the first time in what feels like forever. We love you guys so very much. So thank you, everybody who helps this channel run, all the moderators who are unfucking believable, Rypop, who uploads this on podcast services of your choice, Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, that puts timestamps into the show after the fact. Everybody who helps the channel financially by being a member over on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or being a member over here on YouTube. Everybody who tips during the show. But it's not all about money, because we also love all of you guys who hang out and shoot the shit with us, keep us entertained while we try to keep you entertained. And of course, everyone who sits back and watches the show and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Monday, it's AJ. It's AJ Monday. AJ, it's Monday.
Kill the motherfucking cat, right? Because I want to say see you guys on Wednesday during State of Play to Shapeshifter, the Anamorphous Game Cat. Later, folks. Fat Freddy's Game Cat in the house tonight says playing Ancient Dungeons. Thank you, Brian. Cheers. Bad Robo is blessing us with his high graphical fidelity presence. Yes. Karam Kid. Hello. Robert the Game Cat What up, Wrestlemania? Grumpy Williams, what is good? Thundercat, Game Cat, don't tell my dog, says Nighty Night, Metacats. Everyone's calling us the cats Metacats now because you sold out. You sold out. No.
Nice.
Mark, Poppin, Pringles, Leaf, In the House Night, Looper, the Underground Game Cat, Laters, Ace, Gamer the Ace, the Game Cat. What happened in the year 2000? Aceville says, keep getting those abs, AJ. Oh my God. Pistol Whip, dude. Pistol Whip has some really good new songs, by the way. Guy son, fist bump to you, Salvador. Peace out, my dude. Says, see y'all in Ultra Wings 2. See you there, pilot. Blue Jew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house. Thank you so much. This one. We have always lived in the Castle Mary Cat. Great to see you as well, man. Good to be back. Dominicus, Los Sos, Dominicus. Thank you. Regos, Pentariono, Johnny Murphy in the house tonight. That was supposed to say Metal Brother. What's up, dude? Mad_vegan. Good night. Subtle Eel. I've always loved that name, and I always will continue to love that name. Margosoft, thank you, man. Have a great night. Kevin Russ, hi. Rashid Cameltail Mzil says adios, caballeros. Mike Kelly, thank you so much. Jaden Vrosnick says sub. Aceville in the house tonight. What up, man? Children of the Corn. Hey, Brian. You know this means, right? This means my actual favorite part of the show.
You want to look at Panda again and listen to Panda play music? Is that what you want? Is that your favorite part of the show?
Yeah, sure, that too. But I also want to know what happened on this day 2 years ago in GAMESCAST history.
Boring. That's not nearly as much fun as listening to Panda sing a song about VR.
I mean, I agree.
Okay. Let's take a look all the way back to, I don't know, what do you want to do? Do you want to do I don't know, man. I'm searching around. Here we go. This looks like almost 2 years to the day. How does that work for you? Ready?
Yeah.
2 years to the day. Is it PlayStation VR's best week ever? Zenith and Wanderer.
Oh, that was a great dude. That was a great week. Like those two games, Zenith has lost a lot of its luster now.
Yeah.
Although they have a major update coming this week. Do you know about this?
I do know about this because they emailed every email account that I have with the information.
Oh my God, you check your emails. No, but this is like basically their last effort to revive the game because it's just been losing steam since launch. It had an amazing launch. And it was an incredible game. It was the first MMO on PSVR, and it was huge and it was awesome, and we had a great time with it. But dude, Wanderer was like, I mean, what did you give scores at that time? Did you give that a score?
Yeah, no, I mean, this was an amazing week. I mean, I think both of these games got I think Wanderer got a little bit lower just because it launched with still some bugs.
Bugs.
It was one of those where it's just like, oh man, I want to feel 100% confident about saying that this game is amazing, but it was still like a high 9. I think Zenith, it was the first MMO that we got, as you said, first MMO we got on PSVR, and it was actually surprisingly good. It looked really nice, being able to T-pose and fly around, to glide everywhere. I mean, this was just being able to climb everything, and then just going out and just so many hours to just go out and hang out. The multiplayer stuff worked great. Just hang out with your friends, and we had so many fun times with all the game cats on the Wave Rider East server. Somebody on Reddit, and I try not to pay much attention to the trolls out there, but somebody tried to call me out and say, can Without Parole reviews be trusted? I mean, look, he gave Zenith such a high score. And he tried to say Ancient Dungeon as well, and go fuck yourself. Ancient Dungeon's one of the best games ever. And it was you're going to try to call me out for a game that came out 2 years ago that was fucking groundbreaking in VR when it came out. I was like, you got to put yourself back in the shoes, man. You got to put yourself back in the shoes of people who were playing it, during the first few months that it was out, time. Where it was insanely fun.
We should write an article, be like, oh, this person gave GoldenEye 64, a 10 out of 10. Can they be trusted?
It only runs at like 11
I mean,
frames a second.
Yeah, it's so low poly. What the fuck?
Right. Right. I mean, you can see through people, like, you can see their real motives pretty easily when they try to post things like that. But dude, like, I mean, this really was this. I mean, it's a jackass that's been banned on Without Parole for a long time. So I saw through his motives, even if no one else did. But like, dude, Zenith and Wanderer, what a fucking great way to sort of end the PSVR 1 generation. I mean, that was the beginning of sunsetting it. Yeah. And man, just two fucking amazing games. Yeah, this was a fantastic week.
That was a fantastic week. Amazing game. Some of the best games that happened on PSVR2. And there was another game that came out later on as well, but we will save that for the next time of GAMESCAST history.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it might pop up in like a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. we'll just not talk about it then. So. All right. Well, cool, guys. Thank you so much. Come hang out over on Discord. I'll make sure to post Panda song over there so you can hear it in its full. I'll copy and paste the lyrics because they sent me those too. The lyrics are great. You're gonna fucking love it. I love you guys. Good night.